Can't be bothered with that, to be honest with you. Right. There we are. It's a bit of a random live. Well, this has kind of been planned for a fair while. It popped up. I'm like, right, we're going to just do it. So, without further ado, so I'll take that off because we've already started. That's a good idea. And I'll put that up instead. It's easier. Why not? And here we go. How you doing?
What's up, Craig? How goes it, good buddy?
Yeah, good. So, Joe from the Beer PaTroll.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had a chat or anything for God, how long now?
It's been a long time. Probably a couple of years.
It's been long,
at least 18 months.
Yeah. It's well, it was before things. We'll get into that later if you want to. Whatever, you don't have to. And then global shit shows, and it was well before that. So yeah. But no. So how are you these days?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah, I see you pumping out the reviews, so that's kind of a sign. That,
I mean, I pretty much drink one beer a day. If it's a low ABV beer, maybe a couple. But I got to keep it consistent with the intake of my alcohol and whatnot with my issues. So,
yeah.
I'm just glad to be back beer tubing and being able to do live stuff and just hang out with my buddies and whatnot. It's nice.
Yeah, and that's the thing I've kind of. I had not obviously as long as you, but I had 33 days off the beer recently. My first beer was last Sunday. I was drinking quite a lot of low ABV stuff, which is you can get them here, so which is fine. I'm digging it because flavour wise and stuff like that. You can it just fits now. So one the first beer I had wasn't that good, which was a bit annoying after a bit of time off, and I slowly got back into it. But are you drinking at the moment, or are you just
no? So we did a Mad at Massive Beer Reviews, fellow beer tuber friend of ours. We one of his viewers, Steven, when we did the Beer Tuber Palooza back in August, he actually was cool enough to bring all of us beer mouths, everyone who showed up that was a beer tuber. And he included a single can that said all on it. So it was a mystery beer, but he wanted us all to review it together. So today was the day. Unfortunately, multiple people could not make it. So we just ended up doing it anyway. I won't spoil it in case some of the guys who didn't come say it, but it was an interesting beer. But that's the only beer I'm drinking today. So it's gone and done. And, again, being consistent with it, I wish I could have a beer over here and drinking on it, but, got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, the very fact you can have beers and you're here and doing it, that's enough. That's enough, really.
Being alive and being able to drink to any level is a win in my book.
It just absolutely is. So I'm going to drink a beer here. It's quite old. Shit, it's 8.5 as well. Okay, I didn't know that.
Forget the low ABV stuff, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Out the window.
So I picked up an 8.5 and an 8%. Clever. Yeah. Oh well, I'll have to drink them slow, which is fine. So from Sam City, your state, I believe. Is it it's old.
Sand City, yeah, they're out of New York City. I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's might be Long Island.
It's out of date, so I was going to review some of these things, and then I had this big break. I mean, they were late dated when I got them, but they were really decent price. So that was ages ago now. So you know what? It's not fair to. I don't like reviewing beers that are either out of date or a bit of date on them.
I've said this
changed. So
yeah, I mean is it double IPA?
I hope so. It's 8.5. So
yeah, so it's one of those things where obviously you'd like to drink that as fresh as possible, or like within a couple months. So what are you going to do? It happens. Here's the crazy thing. I've talked to Terry, Blue Nose, a couple other guys, Peter, and it's amazing to me. Even Thomas Open, like just the sheer amount of like hyped or hard to get or brewery only beers that you guys get in Europe, but in the UK, but like also Thomas Open being in the Netherlands, it's like you guys get your hands on shit that I can't even imagine. Like it doesn't just show up at a bottle shop. I can't buy it online. It's like either brewery only or you got to go, to New York City and hope that they're down in bottle shops around there. Like Sand City doesn't show up around here. If so, it's only like draft only. It's not packaged stuff. So it's insane to me that you're just like, oh, I got a Sand City beer over here. It's like, that's crazy.
There's I don't know where this. I got it from there's an online store called Low Cost Beer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's late dated. It was in date when I bought it, but obviously it's well out of date now. But it cost me something like about £4 UK pounds. But it was
that's
in
not
date.
Bad at all. Yeah, that's not bad. That's fucking great, actually.
But normally, if this had been like, we can get them a lot fresher. Some of these beers, of course, but they just obviously haven't sold, and they just needed to get rid of them. And so I was like, okay, worth a punt. But yeah, they're normally a lot of cans over here around about £9 to £11 per can. So
that's insane, like that. But I get it. I mean, it's imported. It's hype, brewery only stuff. The fact that you even get a chance to try it's cool. But if you're, conversion rate of £11 to dollars, probably like $14-15 a can here in the States. That's insane. But like that for $4, I think that's like probably like $5.50 a can US dollars. Like that's probably not much more than they actually charge at the brewery, because most double IPAs in this I'd say in New York specifically from a brewery like that's probably like $18 to $22. So probably the same thing.
I mean, this is tasting. It's actually got like a fruit salad kind of quality to it.
Nice.
It's actually not too bad considering it was canned in. Christ, this was canned on 22nd of March.
Jesus. So you're talking, over like 7.5 months. That's crazy.
And it's tasting pretty fine, to be honest.
And that's a misconception. I mean, obviously we all want to drink our doubles and single IPAs, as fresh as possible. But if you hold on to some of those for 2, 3, 4 months, they still taste delicious. They really do.
I don't know if it's some breweries or whether it's a combination of certain hops that do it, or I don't know. I don't know the deal with how that works. But I've heard rumours like other half when they can stuff, they hold on to it like 2 or 3 weeks before they release it. I don't know if that's true. Just to get rid of any hop astringency or anything like that. I don't know.
Which not every brewery has that possibility too, because I don't know if you've heard. And again, I've been out of, the hype scene now for the vast majority of 2021. So coming back, the one brewery that's been super hyped when it comes to hazy IPAs is Fidens. Fidens, Fidens. They're out of Albany, New York. Like they're in a suburb of Albany, and they've been getting a lot of hype for pretty much the vast majority of this year. And one of the things that a lot of people say, and I experienced myself at the 2021 Beer Palooza, was that one it was Kyle over at Know How Beer Reviews. He brought a couple, like 4 cans of them, and I tried 2 of them. One was a week old, one was like 2 weeks old, and they were so astringent with that hop burn and that green vegetal matter that it was like almost undrinkable. Like you could tell what the beer would be if it let it sit for 2 or 3 weeks, but like that fresh, it kind of ruined the beer. So Kyle just sent me some Fidens this week, and I reviewed a couple that are 5 weeks old, and they were much better than the ones that I had that were 1 and 2 weeks old. But they're a small brewery; they don't have the ability to kind of hold on to those beers and stockpile them and keep them cold and everything, and then release them. They just release them after they brew them, right? So it's cool that some breweries have that ability nowadays, but not all of them do. So that's probably true about other half stuff because it makes sense anyway.
Well, I mean, probably since we last spoke, which is a fair while ago now. Mm-hmm. I mean, the other half you could get them, but they were really pricey and literally I think it was someone like Cloudwater's website or something like that they were on. And then it was more of a, if you knew someone, you could get them, but they're really expensive.
Yeah.
Well, they're still expensive, but so that was pretty much, the only sort of chance you had of getting them. Now they're on
all over the place.
Loads of websites, and not just like one or two of them. We're getting like 10 to 12 different cans turn up all together, like bang, and they're quite a lot of online stores kind of thing. You just order them straight to your house, but then they are fresher. Then you're going to pay more. Blah blah blah.
Thing about Other Half is they've they got 3 facilities now. They got the Brooklyn original one. They have the one that's only about 90 minutes from my house in East Bloomfield, New York, and then they open up the Washington D.C. location. And I think before the end of this year, they're supposed to open up a Philadelphia, Pennsylvania location.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, the one thing about Other Half is I've seen some people say like, oh, the quality isn't as good, whatnot. A lot of that comes from the Washington location because it's a new brewery, so you got to dial it in. The same thing happened at the location close to me. For a while there was a good 6 to 8 month stretch where a lot of their IPAs just weren't that good coming out of that brewery. They finally dialed it in over the last year and a half, and they're back up to being really good. But I think part of the thing too, I've seen a lot of the luster lost with Other Half, and I think part of it is they're easier to get now. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to, like you're saying, know a friend of a friend of a friend. You don't have to trade for them. It just shows up. And when that luster loses itself a little bit, people all of a sudden just start changing their opinion just because it's easy to get. They're not. It's not worth their weight in gold anymore in terms of the trading in the secondary market. So I think that's a little bit what's happened with Other Half to some degree. Plus, a lot of people are drinking that Washington D.C. location beer and being like, "This is terrible," and it's like, well, they just opened up. Got to give them time.
Have they? Are they still in Rochester or not? Are they? Well, did they have a tap room or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, so the location I said is close to me, 90 minutes in East Bloomfield. That's they used to call it Other Half Rochester, but they weren't technically in Rochester. They were in the Finger Lakes region, so where the Finger Lakes are in New York State. They were closer than to one of the Finger Lakes than they were Rochester. So they changed it up, and now it's called Other Half FLX. So. It's in East Bloomfield. It's always been in East Bloomfield, though. They just used to call it Rochester. A lot of people were like, it's not Rochester. You're 25, 30 minutes away. What are you doing? So they relented and changed the name.
Yeah. But no, it's just we're starting to get a hell of a lot more breweries over here. A few I've never heard of in the last. Well, there's a brewery called Neon Raptor Brewing Company. They're out of they're out of Nottingham in the Midlands, South Midlands, and or East, is it East Midlands or South Midlands, whatever, Nottingham. And they've got a side company called Suds and Soda, and they're starting to get in. Well, I say start. I don't know how long they've been running, maybe a year and a half, but I've only been aware of them probably this full year, and they're starting to get some crazy stuff in. And they've been doing quite a few of the beer festivals. They've got an online store, and it's proper crazy, really. There's another one, Beers of America online store that gets stuff, and you got your bottle shop that gets stuff. It's like, I don't know who's actually channeled them all in, or it's the same thing, or they're individual, whatever. I don't know the deal. I'm sure people do know, but I don't know. But it just adds to the choice now. Is just we're getting loads of mountains walking beers and shit like that. And
which is crazy. They're out of South Dakota or Montana? They're out of Montana, which is I will say that's the one thing that I was surprised at. But even before I stopped drinking this year and my channel went on hiatus, the sheer selection and of breweries that never used to distribute now get great distribution because of the pandemic. It's insane. Like going into my local beer store, the choices are just, it's absurd. It's just absurd. And that doesn't even include the places that I can order online from. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I came back and I was just like kind of overwhelmed at the selection. I'm like, I don't know what I should drink. Like, I have no idea. I went to a couple local bottle shops, picked up about $150 worth of beer, and it was some stuff that I've never had before, some stuff that I've had before, but maybe revisited. But like, the selection was overwhelming to me, and I haven't felt like that in a long time.
Yeah. Has anything changed? Well, certainly in your part of the States, where imports from the UK, has that changed in the time you've been kind of away, or is it just the same? Or
it's the same old, same old. I mean, I talked. Well, I didn't talk, but like, you guys were having a live chat. Maybe it was like a month ago, maybe like 3 weeks ago. And
what we were actually talking. We were talking. Wow. Okay.
Well, not you and I.
Normally it's just a shit show, and
yeah. You guys were actually answering my questions. It was Rob Hobzine.
Well, there you go.
Makes sense. He was actually. So I said, do you ever think that we'll see, like, the Cloud Waters, the Neon Raptors, the Verdants,
these breweries are so small, though. That's the trouble. They're just
that is. But a lot of the breweries that you get distro from, like you're talking about Mountains Walking, that's not a huge brewery as far as I know. Sand City isn't a huge brewery. Like, to me, it's crazy that like some of the smaller breweries you guys will see over in the UK, but we don't see any of your new aged hype, hazy places, pastry stouts, all the crazy shit. We don't see any of that. We see the old school, the Samuel Smiths, the things of that nature. That doesn't change. But I would love to have some UK stuff imported of the actual hyped or what people are drinking nowadays, like in terms of the styles and whatnot. But we don't see any of that stuff. Like, honestly, it's crazy. You think we would, but we're saturated with so much here. So maybe that's what they think. Their, shelf space and whatnot's probably very limited.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, where we can get a lot of your breweries that even the stuff you can't or find difficult to get hold of, we get them. I don't understand why it's so hard the other way around in that regard. I don't get it. Because obviously the land has changed obviously a lot in the last few years in the UK with other political blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I let other people talk about. I can't be bothered.
I can't be bothered either.
It's just whatever.
It's insane.
You're never gonna have everyone agree with you on that, so it's just pointless. Then don't But anyway, so that within the beer thing is, I was expecting it to open up a little bit for you guys.
Yeah.
But sounds of it, it doesn't. Well, certainly in your part of the States, it hasn't.
Yeah, it did from a domestic standpoint, but not from an international imported standpoint. We still get pretty much the same imports, but like if you went to my local bottle shop and compared it to a year or 2 years ago, it's vastly different in terms of the domestic stuff here in the States. Like, there are so many new breweries distributing to my area that I never thought I'd ever see, that it's kind of mind blowing. You know what I mean? To see it on the shelf. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've just realised this is probably the strongest beer I've had for getting on for about 7 weeks. So I had a few beers the other day, went out with some friends, but lower ABVs than this. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I'm just seeing how this one goes. But first beer of the day, of course. First beer since Thursday, so
it's. I'll tell you what. Being off the beer for as long as I was, it was pretty crazy. But I didn't really need or want or really crave it. But it's nice to be able to have a beer each day, because it's like, I mean, drinking one beer is not, I mean, unless it's like a big ABV beer, I don't even catch a buzz anymore. I drink it because I like the taste. I love fucking talking to other people about it, but like, the days of me getting fucking shit-faced and hammered and whatnot are very few and far between.
But you never really did, though, I don't think, on these streams.
No. I never did. I never did at home. The only times I would ever like actually get drunk and whatnot would be like bottle shares or beer fests, which is to be expected, right?
Yeah.
But those weren't that frequent. I would maybe go to bottle shares and beer fests maybe a handful of times per year, maybe like 4 to 6. So it wasn't a frequent thing. So I haven't really lost a lot from that aspect, drinking 1 or 2 beers and whatever. So my style, I guess my lifestyle from that aspect really hasn't changed a lot or needed to change, which is cool. So being able to just hop on with somebody or do a live review or whatever and drink a beer, I'm very happy that I can still do that. Although I'm not drinking one right now because I already finished the other one. But
I mean, we could arrange doing a joint review if we can get something.
Oh yeah, dude, we've done them before, plenty of them before. We can definitely, especially now with the selection you have, Craig. Jesus, we'll be able to figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, we could yeah, exactly. So, and then just obviously, and that'd be just a one and done. We'd be quite happy with that. An impy stout. Well, can you do impy stouts or not?
Oh yeah. I mean that's again, spoilers to that mystery beer, but it was a big beer, so that's why I'm one and done because it was a big beer.
Right. So. Is she coming in there? Hell.
Your daughter coming in?
Yeah. What's she doing? Sorry, 2 seconds.
Problem.
Usual.
Oh yeah.
Right, why is this not working? Here we go. All right, let me turn the sound down. Oh, she's not there. She's gone downstairs. Okay. Well, that was a bottle of Black Tower then. I don't know if you get that over there.
I just got cold as water bottle. That's it. I bought one of these earlier this year, and I use it pretty much all the time to try to drink like 3 of those a day. They're like 20 ounces, so
yeah,
try to keep hydrated. It helps. But yeah, it's funny because I haven't done a lot. Even though I've come back, I haven't done a lot of live stuff, but I plan on doing more. Whether it's with you, the Canadian guys, I still have to jump on a Beer Analysis 101, but they, with the border situation and all that stuff, like I can't. What I would do is I used to go up to Canada like maybe once every couple months and grab some stuff, and then I'd go and review. But like now you need like a test, and it costs money, and it's like I'm probably not going to go up there until like it's actually free to be able to go up there. Like it used to like $4 or whatever you'd have to pay to cross the bridge, but yeah, because it used to be like $3.95 to cross the bridge to go over.
No idea.
And that's pretty much all you had to pay, nothing else. Now you need a COVID test, and on top of that, it comes out of your own pocket. So whatever that costs, between $60 to $100, $60 to $150. Yeah, it's like I'm not going to go up there for a day and have to pay $60, $100 to do so. It's like I don't get that. So
that's just a money cow, basically. How long is that going to last?
I don't know, but so the Canadians have finally been able. It was last week they were finally able to come over the border in America. Same thing though. Going back in Canada, you need a COVID test, a negative COVID test. So no matter how long you come over here for, you still need to get a test and then be negative going back. So if the Canadians come down here for a day and it costs them $150, that's, I mean, unless they're coming and spending thousands of dollars shopping, like it's probably not worth it either. So I don't know. Until that is not a necessity, I probably won't go up to Canada. Just doesn't make sense.
That's a shame. But 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I've got to sort out this one.
I'll entertain all of the viewers that we have that we don't have. Chris says, "Is this the live stream where 2 kings talk about their royalty?" Well, Chris, that would be if we had any royalty. Chris, you're working. What are you working this week? Are you off? I don't know. I can't speak for Craig, but once we're done talking a little bit, you're more than welcome to join. I have no idea. Let me know, good sir. I'd imagine you're probably working. Probably working second. Royalties, Chris, but I do have a mechanical aortic valve, so there's that. Oh, afternoons. Are you at work right now? Oh, you're off today. Oh shit. Oh shit, sons. Shit, sons. I just got done doing a mystery beer with Matt, Kyle over at Kyle at No Hype, the Nerd Sense guys, Keith, 93 Lumber, and then Craig and I decided we would go live. So I'm not going to invite you to the chat because it is not my channel, but if Craig is down, you're more than welcome. AKA, I'm putting him on the spot. Got 2 people watching. It's Chris and probably myself. Oh yeah, that's funny that you say until 4 because I'm pretty much out of here by 3:34. I gotta do something, so probably won't be back on. But enjoy your time with your daughter, Chris. Have a good time.
Sorry about that.
Unbelievable, Craig. You leave me alone on your channel.
I can't, but it's just timing.
Listen, Craig. You don't have to apologize. It's all good, buddy. I just talking to Chris on the off the 10th. He's chatting. I said, "You're more welcome to join us." He said, "I can't until 4." And I said, "Well, sorry, buddy."
He jumped. Two things come through. Then I'm here.
They miss you, Craig. You leave for fucking 2 minutes and
it's just parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Bad parenting probably, but yeah, whatever.
It's good parenting because you went and saw you went to check it out. You didn't just say fuck it. You know what I mean?
So cheers for chiming in, Chris. Cool, and cheers, Lee. I'm here now. There you go.
Cheers.
Got your fix now. Trying to think what we was talking about. Oh yeah, the border and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
Nah. It's just it's different over here. It's definitely different over here. But anyway, that's not talk about.
No. I was just talking about that's why I'm going to go see.
Yeah, but, I mean, as soon as you start talking about it, you just and it's like no.
Yeah, no. I was more talking about like the beer analysis 101. Why I haven't been on it.
Yeah,
they do bring your own beers, so I think the next time maybe they do one of those, I'll hop on and bring my own.
Yeah, for me, I used to love doing those, but now it's just I can't with the change in circumstances is the word I'd say. It's tricky. So and all that. So, but I'm still appreciate them keeping me in the chat group because normally they kick people out if you're not talking very much or.
Do you appreciate it though? Do you appreciate waking up with like 200 messages? Is that what you like?
No, but I still appreciate that I have that choice. So,
that is true. That is true. Nothing frustrates me more when I like either wake up or I'll check it and it says 99 plus messages. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And it's usually just, pretty much Greg doing Greg stuff. So
yeah. I mean, I'll post the odd thing in there just a morning chuckle now and again, just random. There you go. Or whatever. But they all got, some of them got together, didn't they, recently? I don't know where they actually went.
They were in New Brunswick. They I think the 2 Lees stayed at Nick's for a couple nights, and then they stayed in a hotel. And I think Carrie and Guy from Drinking Canada, they met up for a couple days and hung out. So it was a pretty big get together.
I saw Carrie's lost late night pissed up walk home video things. That was quite funny.
That was in Quebec City, wasn't it? Where like
I can't remember where it was, but
I don't think he doesn't speak French all that well, if at all. And he's like walking the streets of Quebec City, and it's pretty hilarious.
Is it me? Am I here?
Yeah, you're here.
No, what was it?
I think it was me. I think it was me, honestly.
Yeah. No,
I got the refresh thing.
My internet on this old laptop is not very good. I wish this would go away. 24 hours. Right, okay. Norton's. So that's what it was. This is actually quite pleasant. It's not malty.
No, that's crazy. Almost 8 months old. That's the thing. Like people get so crazy about the dates, and it's like, man, go drink that. Yeah,
well,
get the.
If it's not good, then just you can still. If it's not going to be horrible, it's just all right. It might have lost a bit of edge. It's got a bit more. I mean, I don't know. It's quite fruit salad bowl kind of deal. Quite juicy still. No hint of the ABV. It's dangerous. It's a danger ale, as Harry would say. So.
Yeah, or the aforementioned Guy and Drinking in Canada, a very dangerous beer. Yeah, he likes that.
Yeah. Instead, meeting up with Harry next weekend for a box. Nice. Yeah, me, Harry, Peter, Adam, and maybe Rory as well.
Damn, you guys got the whole crew going.
Well, not the whole crew.
Almost the whole crew. Almost.
I mean, we've never had a whole crew. I'd love to have like everyone. That would be.
Who are you missing? You're missing Dean, Rob.
Well, yeah, Dean, Rob. I'm not sure what's going on with Jake.
Jake. Yeah. James, if he was in the
James. UK. Yeah, James. He's still part of the crew, although he's a foreigner.
Mm-hmm. He's a foreigner. Did it get cracks me? I can't. I just can't.
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not gonna. If he was on here, that'd set him off.
But dude, he would just start doing it. It'd be great. No, I just can't.
But so yeah, and well, obviously Stuart.
Yeah, Stuart.
Is there someone else? I can't. I'm terrible.
I'm just trying to think of like how many
there's
shares and fests you guys have done, and usually it's a different crew each time. It's like very rare for all of you guys to be together because usually when you're talking about 6, 7, 8, 9 people, someone's not going to be able to make it, or a couple, and it's not always the same.
This is the thing, and it'd be nice just to nail it on. Right, if you're working or whatever, or your family, there's always a commitment or something somewhere, which is life.
Yep.
Add into the current state of things, it just makes it more complicated. But I'd love it one day if we could just try and all get together. It'd be crazy.
Oh, it'd be crazy, all right.
But it's going to be crazy anyway. They always are. But
oh yeah.
Although I'm only taking a small glass with me, so it's like.
Are you going to do Joe pours like when I was at Beer Palooza? Just Joe pours.
Yeah, 1 to 2 ounces. I am. They can do what they like. I'm going to try and.
Like no more than like 50 milliliters. That's all you're allowed for.
Well, we'll have to. Yeah, but I mean, we're going to some pubs as well. That's the problem because it's half, even a half is like shit.
Yeah, half pours like what 8 ounces. So that's still maybe 10 ounces. Jesus, that's a lot of beer. That was the one difficulty that I had, but I also was fine with it. Was when I did go and have that share back in August, to specifically make sure I wasn't drinking more than a couple ounces per pour and not trying everything, because somebody would bring out like a fucking crazy bottle of something and I'd just be like, all right, I'm trying it. But then someone else would come out with something maybe not as crazy and be like, yeah, I can't. Like, I just can't. I can't drink everything. You got to pick and choose. Well, I have to pick and choose anyway.
Well, no, and I'm not actually taking any beers to the bottle share because by the sound of it, there's so much beer. We don't really need any. And I've got to travel with a rucksack and public transport. And it's like, do you know what? If we go to the pub, I'll get you lunch and a couple of beers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just easy.
That makes sense.
For me, they're happy with it. I'm happy with it. It's done. So that's
the one thing too. Same thing at that Beer Palooza. It was one of those things where it was like everybody brought too much beer. Like I brought maybe like 12 cans of beer to share. And I think, and a couple bottles, and all we drank out of my stash was like 2 bottles. And I just gave everybody the rest of it to take home. It was like, there was so much beer. And even though there's like 15 of us or like 13 of us, it was just like, you just can't drink everything.
I've done it. We've done it before when Paul come over that time. It was just ridiculous amounts of beer left over. And we got through a lot, but there was ridiculous amounts left. And it's like, I don't want to take beers home with me. I've got out-of-date beer in the fridge. I'm fine,
He said I got out-of-date beer in the fridge.
Do you know what I mean? No, not out.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Because I told you, I mentioned earlier about, we did the mystery beer from Steven, one of Matt's viewers, and that was the coolest thing ever because he's like one of the crazy guys that sends Matt beer. Yeah, cheers, Raggy. Nice. I've never been on a chat with him.
He's probably come onto the scene since you've been off. Awesome dude.
Nice.
Lives in Nottingham as well. So I met up with him in August for a few days, and he's in the pub, so he can't hear us. So, I get it. No worries.
Totally understand.
You can see it.
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
That's it. No, he's cool.
Yeah, no, I'll have to hop on a chat when you guys are all the crews together at some point. Or
he doesn't do the when there's loads of people. He prefers.
Oh, he doesn't. Okay.
Like yeah, okay, which I get.
I get it too.
It's a bit of a shit show when you get 6 to 8 people on, everyone blah blah blah.
It's not a bit of a shit show. It is totally a shit show.
Oh, it's awful.
Especially if
awful.
you have
And then
one or two
I
people
try and
that
talk, and then it's like there's a lag. It's just awful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there's, and then everybody has different personalities. So some people like to talk more, some people don't. And it's like, at some point you can't hear half of the people. And it's like, why are they even there? And they probably feel that way. So I totally get it.
Yeah. I mean, that stream you chimed in on, I think it's the first one you chimed in on since you've been kind of back. And
I remember.
it was just shocking. It was shit. It was awful.
Yep. It was.
I was glad when it finished, and I was like, unlisted.
Did you unlisted? Nice.
Yeah,
That's funny.
done. No, it was. I didn't know everyone. There was a stream offline going on, getting beard up, waiting for me to, and then it just went like 4 or 5 people turned up at once, and I'm like, and pissed up as well. It's like, no more, not doing that anymore.
I think I've always been of the opinion of like, obviously I like live streams. I like chatting, but if you're going to pregame, those live streams go downhill quickly, and you kind of
within a minute, within 1 minute, it was just like,
it's terrible. Yeah, I'd rather see people start drinking at the beginning, and then it goes downhill.
A gradual
decline
kind of thing. I'm fine with that because I'm on that level as well. Then, But when you're a level or two ahead of me, and it's like going to a pub, you're meeting someone up, and they've been in the pub 2 or 3 hours, and you get there and you think, fucking hell, what's this? Exactly. So you've got to drink quick to try and understand what they're saying.
And you still can't.
You still can't sometimes, but I still love the guys, but it's like, I can't do that anymore, I'm afraid. So,
yeah, especially since I don't hop on these a lot. So like when I hop on or I watch, it's like, if you're going to be 3 sheets to the wind and like incoherent and just like kind of loud and crazy, it's like, I would like to talk a little bit, and chat it up and whatnot. And it's like, some people aren't in that state.
But I want everyone to be heard, and if they got something to say, shut up, let them talk.
Yeah.
Or me. Sometimes I like to talk. It's on my stream, for God's sake. I can't get a fucking word in. It's like, it's not so much fun, really. You're just sitting there, not saying much. It's like, always like, so I'm like trying to turn the loudest ones down, the volume. And I'm thinking, did they realise I'm trying to turn them down, or do they know, or I don't know. I hope they don't.
It's cool to have that option now, though, with like StreamYard being able to do different stuff like that. That's cool.
Well,
we didn't used to have those controls back in the Google Plus days. Like, that was not a thing.
No, that was just, and then it was delayed, and
you could mute them. That was it. There was no turning levels down.
Nah, you can on this, but I haven't got the best internet in the world. It's probably after the battle.
Probably to some degree, it's definitely influences it, no doubt.
But yeah, it's like just calm down, let people talk. It's just, but it's like I say, a few beers, But
more than a few beers, more than a few beers, a lot of beers.
Yeah. I think someone was on sessioning double IPAs, about 6 cans of them on that stream. So
see to me, like, that makes my brain hurt because, listen, I love double IPAs, I love hazy IPAs, I love West Coast style now. There's no way I could I could drink maybe a couple in a sitting, but I'd have to switch to something else. I can't drink I couldn't even drink like 4 or 5. Like, that 6 is just absurd to me. Like, I just couldn't do it from a taste standpoint and a palate. Like, not even the alcohol. It's just the fucking same flavors, very similar flavors over and over.
I mean, I've got this, which I assume is in New England. And then I've got this, which is this is old as well. Well, it's best before the end of the 4th of October. So this is out of date as well. I was going to review it, but obviously I didn't.
What is that?
It's a beer from Burning Sky, the Big Easy, 8%. I think it's a West Coast IPA, but it's old. It was canned in April, best before October.
Be curious to see how that one is now with about 6 months on it, right?
Yeah, Simcoe, Chinook, Amarillo, Columbus in this one.
Holy shit, those are old school hops. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's I don't know how bitter it's going to be, but that'd be interesting. So that's going to have a bit of a contrast to what I'm drinking now.
Oh yeah, without question.
But then it's an 8.5 and an 8 back to back.
You feel you're gonna feel a little good. You're gonna feel a little good, Craig. A little good.
Yeah.
A little warm, a little tipsy.
But Alice has had a good day. She had a shower and all that early, and I took her to a soft play thing for a couple of hours. Now she's happy doing some drawings and that downstairs.
Is it 8 o'clock there? 8 o'clock?
Yeah, but it's a weekend, so I'm like, okay.
That's true.
So she's had a good day. I'm just having my hour or so of a good day now. And we'll see how it goes later. See how it goes later, and
I was glad I'm actually able to chat with you at like an appropriate time, because most of the times we would chat be like 7, 8, 9 o'clock my time. It'd be like 1, 2 in the morning yours, and I'm just like, that doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem fair.
It's tricky. It's tricky for me now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could probably do it on a Saturday night. I mean, I used to join with a lot of the late streams for the American guys. I used to really enjoy them, of course, and but now I'm finding I don't drink as much as I used to. I don't want to have a stream for 3 or 4 hours before going into that for another few hours anymore. Because then I've got to get up in the morning and make sure she's all right, breakfast, blah, blah, blah. Even on like weekends and stuff. So it's like, I can't do that really. Unless
responsibilities change, man. That's
which
what
is
comes
fine,
down to.
Which is not, I'm not moaning. It's not one of them things. It's like not a problem at all. I still get to have a beer if I want a beer. And it's no biggie.
No, like I said, it's like me with when I'm with me, it's like I got to be cognizant and aware of what I'm drinking, when I'm drinking, how I'm drinking. So it's one of those things where it's not a huge problem for me, and I'm happy about that. Like right now we're chatting. I don't have a beer. Not a big deal. Like it doesn't matter.
I told you that though, like in the months before you come back, and I'm like, whatever.
Yep.
It's not a more bullshit in the comments. Well, there's one legend. It's not me. There you go.
Are you sure? Because I think you're actually the king of beer too. Like I don't. How can you're clearly a legend? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No,
pretty sure that's how.
No.
That's the rumblings I've heard for the last couple of years. I don't.
Yeah, well,
I don't think I'm wrong.
There's a lot of bullshit in the world, isn't there? So you know what I mean.
There is, and one of it is my channel. So it's part of the bullshit.
Leave it alone. No, but no, it's great to have you doing the old stuff again.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like I said, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that I can still have this as a hobby, because I made a lot of friends in here, through beer tubing that I would consider friends even past the beer. So it's fun to be able to still, just like I said, we're chatting right now. I'm not drinking a beer, whatever. It's not this chat right now is not. There's no beer is not at the forefront, which is good. You know what I mean? We're just chatting, having a good time.
That's what it's about.
Rod's taking notes right now. I don't.
Yeah. No. Well, have you used your pen yet? I doubt it. But yeah. No, it's just I mean, for a long time now, beer's been secondary to chatting with you, like that kind of deal.
Oh, for sure. Same here.
And a lot of the new kids on the block they're not on that. They're not there yet, if that makes sense. It's still the beer is the main thing, and
which I totally get. I get.
I was the same.
Mm-hmm.
It took me, I don't know, I reckon it took me about 2.5 years before I realised it's not actually the beer is secondary now.
Yeah, it's still a part, but it's not the main. It's not the main culprit or the main reason that I talk to a lot of people in the beer community anymore. It's just not the main reason, and it probably never will be again. So, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing
it
wrong
is
with it.
good to see you, Rod, mate. Hope you're keeping well.
For sure, Rod.
Decent.
Decent. A couple. I think it was like a month and a half ago. I surprised Rod and hopped on the old Thursday night live stream. with
Bloody hell.
Todd and his wife Shannon. It was a good time.
Wow.
I'll have to do it again at some point in the near future.
I need to. I didn't realise that you was on there, but
I haven't been on much stuff.
I'm an avid watcher, so there you go. I must have missed that one.
It's tough to keep up with everybody's stuff. I try to watch as much as I can, but it's still tough.
Yeah, I used to watch them a lot. If I wasn't on there, I was watching live. I just can't. It's just and then it's like, and then you get 2 or 3 weeks behind. It's like I've got no time. It's just. But no. So what you got? You've got anything coming up on your channel or anything?
No, not much.
Just or breweries or anything like that.
No, I did the 10 days of pumpkin at the end of October. I'm done with that.
You happy it's done now? You happy it's ended?
See, I'm one of those people, and I know it's a crazy thing for you guys because in the UK, and I just feel like in Europe in general, like pumpkin beers aren't really a thing. You know what I mean? Like they're not, and like every brewery does one here. Like almost every single brewery, there's a pumpkin ale, pretty much from like August through November. That's probably on tap at the brewery. So many of them do it. So there's so many bad ones out there, like so many bad ones. But then there's some good ones.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, and each year I'm going through typically 10 a year, sometimes more if I do like side by sides. But like by the end of it, I'm pretty. The last two, you'll even see them. Like the last, if anybody out there ever watches my channel, which I don't recommend, but if you do and you watch any of the pumpkin beer reviews, by the last 2 or 3, it's like I'm cool. I'm happy I do this each year because I always have a soft spot in my heart for pumpkin beers. And purposely for pumpkin beers, but it's one of those styles that like you either love or hate. Like there's a lot of people who watch my channel and they'll come and be like, I cannot wait for pumpkin. I love it. And then other people are like, I cannot drink that style. And it's just like, well, I like the style. I've always liked the style. So each year I kind of pay homage to it. I feel like I do them all at once. But I will say, and I didn't get to do it this year, I think next year, if I do 10 days of pumpkin, I'm going to do it throughout the course of October. I post a couple a week instead of 10 straight days. Because I feel like 10 straight reviews of them, by the last 2 or 3, I'm just like, I'm fucking done. I can't. There's too much pumpkin at this point. I've had cinnamon and nutmeg and clove and allspice and all that shit way too much. I'm just done with it.
Yeah, you'd be. Yeah,
you'd
be pumped, and then But July. I mean, July. Would that be stock from the previous autumn, or what's the deal?
No, they just use canned pumpkin a lot of places or pumpkin puree. But Rod's right. It's funny because I'll wait to review my beers for the 10 days of pumpkin until like early to mid October, and by that time, they some of the beers are already like 3.5 months old. And as we were talking about with like hops and, you're talking about like that 7.5 month old Sand City was really good. Pumpkin beers fall off pretty quick because those spices die out a lot of times. Like the cinnamon, the allspice, the nutmeg, the ginger, the clove. Some of those just fall off. If a beer has vanilla in it, it can fall off. So a lot of times I'm drinking the beer in October. Meanwhile, in July, it was fresh. Who the fuck... Listen, I know a lot of people who like pumpkin spiced anything. I don't know too many of them who are drinking them in July and going, oh, it's fucking 90 degrees outside. You're not going to sit there and be chugging something that's meant for the fall. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, I get that more than drinking imperial stouts. I prefer drinking imperial stouts in the summer than I can't imagine pumpkin beers when there's a heat wave on in July.
Craig, it's always imperial stout season for me.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Against what a lot of people think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few breweries do pumpkin beers over here. I think there used to be a fair few more, certainly 5-6 years ago when I first started. Now there's other breweries doing them, 1 or 2, but not loads. But it hasn't really caught on like Halloween has, of course, certainly in the last 20, 30 years with the kids and that. When I was a kid, Halloween wasn't really a massive thing.
Really?
Now it's a lot bigger now than it was when I was a kid, but it hasn't spilled over into the breweries yet. Perhaps when these kids grow up and they can drink beer, then maybe you'll have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the pumpkin ale style used to be. If you ever want a true representation of like what pumpkin beers used to be, you pick up Brooklyn's Post Road Pumpkin Ale, because that is pretty much brewed with pumpkin, and it has like an earthy kind of like old school like English pale ale type of vibe to it. And that's the kind of, I guess, how pumpkin ales used to be, where they would, instead of brewing it with a shit ton of malt, they would use the pumpkin instead, or they would add it to the malt and like do a combination or whatever. But it, like, nowadays, it's like when you think pumpkin, you think pumpkin spice. That's what I think. I don't think earthy pumpkin, but that's kind of how the beer was. I'm not a huge fan of that beer because I don't want a huge earthy. I want that fucking, that pumpkin spice latte type of vibe too. Where it's over crazy. But I don't know. Have they released 2022 pumpkin
Yeah,
yet? Soon.
I'd imagine yeah.
The problem is in Southern Tier is one of the places that do it. Like if you buy their stuff, it'll show up in late July, early August, and it'll have like a mid-July bottle date, right? I don't know who started the trend, if it was like a Sam Adams or if it was a Southern Tier, or maybe like Shipyard is another one that do pumpkin night ale. But whoever fucking started to decide to release these pumpkin ales in like late July, early August, they need to get slapped a couple times. Like they just do. I'm not advocating violence. I'm just saying maybe a little slap in the back of the head and be like, what do you think?
Personally, if I was in the States, I'd be like, I'm waiting till October. Beginning of October, by October.
That's what I do. I can't. Like but what sucks is, like we talked about, the freshness, then they're already 2-3 months old. And the beer, and some like, so pumpkin, because Chris mentioned it, pumpkin is a completely different beer, like, less than a month old and then 3 or 4 months old. It turns from this really nice pumpkin pie, complete with the spices, the whipped cream, the actual pie crust. Like you get all of that, like everything, right? Graham cracker-esque pie crust. And then 3 months later, it turns into like pumpkin cookies, because the vanilla is still there, the sweetness is still there, but the spices die out and it doesn't have that same pumpkin pie vibe to it. So by the time you drink it in October, it's not the same beer as it was in late July, early August. But it's like,
yeah.
It sucks. They're not doing different batches of it every couple months. They just do it once.
I would imagine if I had some pumpkin ales in the States, it's difficult, isn't it? They're probably going to be a hell of a lot better than some of the ones we have here. But then again, I've not had too many in my life, to be honest with you. I could probably 5 or 6 maybe. I don't know.
I would say for every one good pumpkin beer, there's probably 3 to 4 that are just not good. Overspiced, not the biggest problem I find with pumpkin beers and pumpkin ales, and pumpkin ales are just very generic. It's usually 5 to say 7% generic ale. Some will use brown ale base, some will use just maybe like a pale kind of malt to try to carry the spices. But most of the ones I find bad don't have a good base beer. So it's just overly spiced, and the base beer cannot hold up to those spices.
Let's crack this second one. Crack this second one then.
Yeah, baby, you turn into Paul over here. Session strength.
I'm only having 2, so
that's true. Add about another 18 to the mix, and now you're Paul.
So this is going to be, I assume it's. I'll have a look, see what's in it in a minute. It's not quite as hazy, but still. This is the weird
West Coast. That doesn't look West Coast.
Yeah, but this is the weird thing. There's breweries in the UK that are doing West Coast IPAs with oats in. I don't get it.
No,
I don't know. For me, I don't know. Not all of them, but there's 1 or 2. It's like, well, they're not very bitter at all.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like new wave, like modern West Coast IPAs. Nothing like what I used to drink 6-7 years ago or more.
I mean, West Coast IPAs, caramel, bready malt character. Usually get typically grapefruit, maybe a little pineapple if you wanted to go tropical. Big resinous pine on the back of the end. Moderate to full on bitter. Like you don't like if you're not following that and you're calling yourself a West Coast IPA, then you might as well just call it a hybrid at that point, because it's not the same.
Yeah, I'm just going to check just to make sure. But this may not be a West Coast, so I'm just going to make sure.
Okay. So you're feeding us bad information? Is that what you're saying, Craig?
Absolutely.
All Absolutely.
So, I mean, Untapped are classing this as an Imperial double IPA.
Okay, so
I don't, but then there's not West Coast IPA on Untapped anyway. So,
is there not? I thought there was. No,
is there? I don't think
I'm
so.
pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Perhaps I'm probably wrong twice.
I don't know. I always thought there was. Maybe not though. You could be right. I'm gonna filter by style. See.
Well, certainly hop wise, I'd say West Coast-ish. It says citrus and pine forest aromas. Sounds pretty. What's the IBUs on it? Doesn't tell you.
You're actually right. I'm looking, and for IPAs, they do not have West Coast as a style. They have American, Belgian, Black, Brut, English, Farmhouse, Imperial Double Black, Imperial Double Milkshake, Imperial Double New England, International Milkshake, New England, Quadruple Red Rye Session, Sour, Triple Hazy, and White. No, how do you not have West Coast? That's crazy to me.
Well, I don't know if West Coast would come under American IPA. That's what I would punt for. I don't know.
It would, but why wouldn't they just lump New England in there? I feel like there's a huge discrepancy between the two.
I get it, but
yeah, that's weird.
So this has got water, malted barley, wheat, hops, which we know, which I said, and then dextrose and yeast. So, so dextrose would be more of a sweetener, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's like it's glucose. It's like a simple sugar kind of thing. Dextrose.
Yeah. I don't know whether it's just balance it up or what the deal is. I don't know, but it's certainly not. It's hazy.
Probably to add to the sweetness, kind of like with the dextrose. A lot of places use lactose now to help with the mouthfeel, but also add that sweetness.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not looking West Coast-ish. Yeah, sugar to raise the ABV. Okay.
Yeah.
A non-fermentable sugar. But then
that's why a lot of places use lactose is because of the mouthfeel, but also because it's non-fermentable, and you add the sweetness, and it's easy to do. And they don't here in the States, you don't have to, like, if you put lactose in a beer, you don't have to state that's in the beer, which is crazy to me. Like
I don't like that in certain beers. It works like a milk stout or a pastry stout. I kind of get it.
Or a milkshake IPA, obviously.
Well, them things, I'm not loving.
You're not ahead. I've had the thing about milkshake IPAs. I feel like there's no in between. They're either really delicious or just absolute shit. There's no like, oh, this one's okay. Usually there's trash or they're great.
So for you, the really delicious milkshake IPAs, are they really sweet?
They're sweet, but not like. I'll tell you what. The best milkshake IPA I've ever had was from a brewery called Beer Tree. They did a pineapple creamsicle, and they did it without lactose.
Wow, right, okay.
They got it all from vanilla. They put vanilla beans, and it was sweet, but not like cloying, like a pastry stout. But some of them are too cloying, where they use lactose, they use vanilla, and they just go fucking bonkers with it. And then you're like, man, I could drink like 2 ounces of this, and I'm done. But I'm not a huge fan of the style either, because there's so many misses. Like, it's, again, kind of like pumpkin ales. For every one good one, I have to, 3 or 4 are terrible or just not all that good.
I had a milkshake. I done a little review at one of the festivals, milkshake IPA from the States. I can't remember the review or brewery, but it actually wasn't as sweet as some of the others I've had in the past, which was nice. I was worried this is going to be just, do you know what I mean?
A mess. Yeah, just complete sugary mess.
But some of them are really thick and gloopy and sweet, and it's like, this is just like, I like a beer to be a kind of, it gets to that point where where do you draw the line with the sweetness and the like, is it beer? And even with some of these fruited sours, it's like, I don't know about this. It's that kind of deal,
Yeah, so I review a decent amount of the smoothie, heavily fruited sours. I go in with a mindset of it's basically a fruit smoothie with alcohol, right? Like I get so many comments from people that are like, oh, that's not beer. And it's like, I'm going into it with that mindset that even though it is beer, it doesn't drink like it. So I get it, but I got to be in the mood for that beer. You know what I mean? Like I got to be craving, like I want a big fruity, drink, right? So,
Yeah.
but I'm one of those people that can almost drink any style to some degree. There are a couple that like I'm not huge fans of, but I feel like I can appreciate most styles at this point over
If I
drinking,
want,
last 12 years of craft
yeah,
beer. It's like I kind of can appreciate most things. I don't love all things, but I can appreciate most.
it's something. If I fancy something a bit more with fruit and stuff, I'd probably go for something like a Belgian Creek, or
Yeah, some of those are absolutely fucking delicious.
you know what I mean, like something
Mhm.
that's actually meant to be there. And but is on another level much better. There's a lot more quality
Yep.
within that, or you get a lot of fruit kind of esters from saisons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
There's some that
I'd rather go down that way than some of these like Omapollo crazy triple fruited goes that look like a smoothie. I'd rather go for the Belgian stuff.
I'm at a point where I go back and I just drank Great Lakes Brewing Company in Cleveland, Ohio. I just drank their Vienna lager, and like I reviewed it like a week ago, and like
Great.
beers like that bring me back to when I first got into beer, where it's like it's core four, it's malt, hops, yeast, water, you're good to go, and beers like that refresh my palate too, where it's like this is what I used to drink all the time, beers like this, and now you have, if you look at on BeerTube and you look at the vast majority of reviewers, they're drinking all the in styles, the heavily fruited sours, the pastry stouts, the hazy IPAs, whether they're singles, doubles, or triples, or milkshake or whatever, bourbon barrel aged beers. Now the thing that I'm starting to get into a little bit more, but I kind of questioned it, and I only question it because they say everything comes full circle. A lot of us got into craft beer because you didn't enjoy drinking the mass-produced macro stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's why a lot of people got into craft beer. So now everyone's coming back and they're getting so excited about a 4.5% Pilsner. And I'm over here going, yeah, it's cool that that's a good Pilsner and you're into it. But like, that's the stuff that we weren't really looking to get into because you wanted stuff with more flavor. And now everyone's going back. It's coming full circle for a lot of people. And I've started to reach the couple like since I come back, maybe the last month or so, I've had some. I did a cream ale. I just did, and I haven't posted yet, and I can't wait to. I did a 10 degrees Plato Czech style Pilsner. It was 3.8%. And it was one of the best lagers I've had in a long time. It was so fucking delicious. And it kind of surprised me. It was just 3.8%.
But they're so simple though.
Yeah,
and
they are.
They just make you smile. You think, this is just like you say. I was going to say full circle thing, and it happened to me last year, late summer. I started getting into Pilsners a bit, and then I started let's get the German stuff, and just unbelievable. I mean, I've had a few of the German bits and bats before, but never really appreciated them. And I've done some early reviews of absolute classics that I thought were horrible. So I need to revisit some of this sort of stuff, and I understand it now. I get it. It's kind of one of them deals. So I need to revisit a few reviews just to see like the what's the Budvar.
Oh yeah. I haven't had that in such a long time, but it still comes in the green bottles here, and I don't know, how places are handling it, so I don't want to get a real skunky one.
I met one of the main guys a couple of times this year, and I can't remember his name, so that's how well I know him. But no, I've got a Budvar Reserve downstairs.
Nice.
So I need to review that at some point.
For sure, I want to see that. I need to see that, Craig. Do not.
It's only a free 30 ml. It's only a free 30 ml bottle. It's nothing. It's 7%, and he goes, "There you go, review that for me." And that was in August, so I still got it.
Nice.
So I feel bad. I've had a few people. Yeah, absolutely. The Delirium Red is.
It's delicious. I haven't had that in so many years, but I remember.
I've never reviewed it. I've I've had it a few times, and it's certainly sweet, but an enjoyable sweetness, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The Belgian candy sugar.
That's strong. You drink the beer there.
You know what I just saw that showed up here that kind of blew my mind? I don't know if I should try it. I'm kind of afraid. St. Bernardus Christmas Ale in cans.
In cans, I didn't know they'd done it.
In cans.
Was it like one of the big cans or something? Or...
I didn't see the size. I think it was maybe 12 ounce, so 355s. I don't think it was 473s. Yeah. But regardless, I was like, St. Bernard. I am 100% buying it and reviewing it this year because I haven't reviewed the Christmas Ale, and I just want to see how it is in a can because I like it in the I won't say I love it, but it's a really good beer in the bottle. So
do they ship like tankers over and then they put it into cans when they're over in the States? Is that how the deal works?
I don't know if for those beers. I do know there's a brewery that does it here called OEC, where they so behind me, the Ashralankas, right? The Rausch beers. These are brought in by OEC Brewing in a big tanker, and then they canned them.
Yeah.
That's why they were canned.
I did know that they done it with some. I knew about that. I just wondered if they done it with some of the Belgian beers and stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the reason why that's in there. I'll have to I'll have to do a little bit of research.
Because I've never known them can, and the fact that they're canning in 255 cans, which is standard 12 ounce, is it?
355 mil, 355 mil or 12.
355, sorry, 355. 355 mil, sorry.
Yeah, it's 12 ounces.
There's 12 ounces, so...
Because it's weird on the different bottle shapes, because like 341 is 11.2 ounces, which I think is, I don't want to say standard, but I think it might be standard like Canada, like 341s, there's 355s, there's the 473s.
Well, 330s is 11.2, I think.
Okay, what did I say? 341? Yeah, 330s might be. You might be correct on that. Yeah.
330s is 11.2. It's in that ballpark.
But it's weird how they have these slight variations on the cans. Like they got 11.2, they got a 12, they got a 16, they got 16.9. Then they got the 750s, which is 25.4 ounces. I just wish we would, have the metric system going on over here. It's fucking confusing. we just with the Imperial is. I don't know. We're fucking weird.
No, that's it's just funny how things kind of just different. But, so there's another style in the States just come onto the scene. I can't think what it is. Well, certainly in the last 6 months. What is it? I can't remember.
A specific style of beer?
Yeah, but salsas have become ridiculous over there as well.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's and again, I like them. I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't, but they don't drink like beer. The whole smoothie, crazy, pureed stuff, they're good. Yeah. But there's so many breweries that do that because that's the thing that sells, and they're like not forced to, but like you gotta. It's like here's the thing. It's like anything else, style wise. When it blows up, if your brewery's not doing it, you're probably not making money. Think about when hazies came out. Now every fucking brewery does a hazy in a New England style. Like that's if you don't have one, people are like, what the fuck? That's kind of weird. Unless you're a super old school brewery, you got to have one or a couple on tap. Just how it is. That wasn't the case 5 years ago.
I mean, there's not breweries doing them over here so much. There's a lot of whatever's going into supermarkets. There's a lot more hard seltzers in supermarkets, but I don't think there could be from breweries. I don't think there's many though. Breweries
what, the hard seltzers?
Yeah, not breweries.
Tons of breweries here are doing them. So many of them do.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I don't, because I don't look at them, so I probably don't.
No, I don't. I don't drink hard seltzer. I don't like regular seltzer. So
I had one hard seltzer, and it's from Omipolo. I'm like, it's a style I'm done with straight away.
Yeah,
just I don't like champagne.
Yeah, the carbonation is just crazy. The carbonation.
Yeah, I don't do champagne or shampoo as I call it.
I hope you don't drink shampoo.
No. It's very creamy. And,
the body.
It's very creamy and very clean taste and blah blah blah.
Full body.
But that'd be splitting hairs. But no. So sorry.
Dad jokes. That's what Craig's here for.
Yeah. No, we lost our viewer, so there we go.
Our single viewer.
Yeah, exactly.
Unannounced live streams. This is how it goes, Craig.
No, well, good. Perfect.
He said, "Perfect." I don't want anybody watching.
But no, I haven't people know. But no, it's just I just don't like them. It's not hard seltzers, milkshake IPAs. What else don't I like? There's not too much else. I think they're the two main things. Hard. I mean, if it's a style, is it a beer style hard seltzer? It's like, come on, it's not. I know it's on Untapped, but oh, come on.
There's really, I'm trying to think now. There isn't any style that I hate, and that probably wasn't the case like 5 years ago.
I just don't drink them.
Yeah. I mean, like I can appreciate, like I said, a beer in most styles. Like there's at least one beer in almost every style that I'll be like, okay, I can tolerate it. It's fine. But I will be honest with you, this style, the Rausch beer style smoked beers, I've started to come around the last couple of years. When I had those, I didn't hate them. I gave them a decent score, and like I could drink them. It was fine. But I still don't gravitate towards smoked beers, especially if they're like if they have that like peaty type of smoke, like almost Scotch smoke, where like Band-Aids and like burnt plastic and stuff. Like that's not my jam.
No, I get that.
Can't.
There we go.
Everything all right? Everything good? Peachy?
Yeah. Where's them new pens you've got me? Oh, there you go. You're not having them now.
Yeah. So I mean,
I thought she forgot about them. That was about a month ago, and I was like, she must have just remembered.
Aren't kids crazy like that though? Yeah, they just. That's crazy. I don't know.
Stop remembering things.
Yeah. Be like us. We're older. We forget everything.
Yeah, you just forget things.
We don't know what we're doing anymore.
No, but sometimes I remember when she forgets. It's like, yes, that's good.
Yeah, that's oh boy, like that's rare though. Yeah, that's rare. Yeah, that's got to be rare.
Between, but yeah, it's quite amusing when it happens. It's like, I've forgotten as well.
That's funny.
But no, it's just it's the way it is. So, how do you spend your weekends these days? And a couple of beers, like one earlier.
I sometimes hang out with. I'll go to like the lunch or dinner with my dad. Hang out with family, stuff like that.
How is everyone doing?
Oh, pretty good. My dad's doing pretty good.
Cool.
Everybody in my family is doing about the same as the pre-pandemic, of course.
Yeah,
changes and whatnot, but doing pretty good overall. The one thing that, and I don't mind saying it on here, but like, and we talked about before, obviously, with what you've had going on over the past year, it's one of those things where like still mentally, like mental health, still struggle with it, at post-surgery. So it's one of those things where like,
yeah, I think it's really important. I mean, I've done my offline stream a week or two after, and I've done one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember when on stream live. It's quite a bit raw, and I'm fine with doing that. I don't want to go on about it all the time because obviously, it's people don't, if you want to watch that, that's there, and then the rest is like, I try and keep it. But then, if there is like people going through stuff, it's like I'm always going to come out and talk about it. I don't care what if you don't have to watch it. It's one of them deals.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other videos that aren't like that, and it's beer centric, which the channel is generally about.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes it's like, let's put this out there, and there's a lot of people going through stuff, and I'm aware of that.
For sure.
Which is one of the reasons I don't like keep talking about stuff.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of people going through the same stuff that don't talk about it, and do you know what I mean? I'm more thinking about that than what I've got going on.
Yeah.
You know.
It's so when I brought back my channel and did the whole live stream saying, "Hey, I'm bringing back this stuff," I wanted people to know, like, I have no idea what the future of my channel holds. So hopefully you don't hold it against me if like there's a couple weeks where I'm not posting anything because I'm going through it, you know? And that's, I think the biggest thing for me post-surgery, and it's something that they say you develop, some people can develop after open heart surgery, is, you know, depression to some degree. And it can, you know, last for 6 months, can last for a year, can last, you know, going forward. And I've definitely felt that since the surgery was about 4.5 months ago. And there are days where I just don't want to do anything. You know, like I don't want to interact. I don't want to review beer. I just don't want to I don't want to talk to, like, you know, anybody. I just kind of chill, do my own thing. And
yeah, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You just need your own space, kind of.
Yeah. Like I'm not very. I don't want to interact with anybody. Like it's not that
not
I'm
social. Yeah,
not
sociable.
But antisocial on those days. And it's like, you know, some people will be like, "Hey, you want to do a live review? Oh, you want to hang out? You know, get on this hangout." And I'm just like, no, I don't. I'll chat with you, but I don't want to. Like I don't feel that.
Yeah.
I hope people understand. Like I've had so many people ask me, and I'm just like, I don't want to say exactly why. I just don't feel like it, you know.
And this is the deal I said with you, like going back. I think even before you had your surgery, and probably a little bit before that. So obviously we chat.
Mm-hmm.
Not regular, but we chat. You know.
Yeah, we keep in touch.
Yeah, and I just said that whenever it doesn't, there's no 2 or 3 years down the line, whatever you want to do, it's and when you feel like it, don't have to drink, which you're not. And it's in your court, man. That's obviously since then a few other things have happened, my end and blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just I don't think. I think most people are understanding with stuff, or a lot more than they probably used to be.
Yeah, I think nowadays mental health, actually people understand. Even if you're not going through specific things, you understand. You know what I mean? Yeah. You do get it. And us, you know, having things happen to us, you know, different things, but serious things that have affected our life. It's like, if I don't hop on a live stream, and I'm not saying you specifically, I'm, you know, just talking in general, I would hope that, you know, people would understand. Same thing with you, like, hey, I don't, you know, and everyone's been cool about it, but like that's why, you know, I've coming back to BeerTube. It's much easier to do, you know, reviews and then post them at my leisure than actually hop on live streams every single week or whatever. That's why they've been so infrequent since I've coming back. I mean, I can sit here and say, oh yeah, you know, every single week I'm gonna do a live stream, we're gonna hang out and stuff. And probably not the case whenever I feel up to it. So, like today, I knew I was preparing to do that mystery beer, and that's why I was like, hey, if you want to chat, I should be down to do so afterwards. So, and here we are chatting.
Yeah,
for the first time in a while.
Week or so ago, you remember you mentioned it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll be down for that.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's great to see you well, and you know that kind of deal. So it's
you too, Craig. Really, I'm glad.
Wow.
It's gonna be a while, a long while, and probably never where, you know, things, everyone just go, oh, it'll be a while before you get over it. Normal, like that's not gonna happen. But it's good to see you doing better. You know what I mean? Like in general, and being off the beer and not having any issues with it and stuff. That's great. Great to
I had a few. I mean, one of the issues was I just need. I mentioned before, I've got these kind of like not stomach issues, but I think it's more. It's coming across more like not. It's obviously not a beer issue. I think it's more of an indigestion thing going on.
Okay.
I think. I get a lot of kind of real kind of acid burn after I've had something to eat quite a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, okay, then. So it's not and obviously I had that. That's why one of the reasons I had that like 5-week gap. So it's not beer. It's obviously not beer because a problem drinker or an alcoholic. It's like because you wouldn't be able to do 5 weeks if you had a proper problem with it. So I knew it wasn't that, but it was still going on. And then I realised it was starting to happen more after I've had half hour after I had something to eat. I was like, okay, whether it's I don't know if it's a lactose thing or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to probably end up having a few tests, but one thing I do know it's not beer, so that's good.
Could it be acid reflux?
Probably.
Probably because I have acid reflux. I take one pill every day when I wake up, and it helps immensely. So, and I used to have the same thing: heartburn, kind of like just not feeling great.
It's a slight kind of on the left hand side of the rib cage kind of deal, just below the rib cage. So
after you eat every time, it could be your I don't know if it's the left side, but it could be gallbladder too. Gallbladder is another one. So you get like gallbladder attacks and stuff. So
it's just a little bit slight. It's a mild kind of uncomfortableness kind of deal.
Gotcha.
But obviously it was happening after I've had 4 or 5 weeks after not having a beer and stuff, so it's still happening. And I'm like, but then it was starting to happen after meals. I was like, okay, so I've kind of got to that point now where I was like,
something's going on in your digestion tract that is
something
not.
there is, so gotcha. that will a bit of a worry out of this, doing this and that kind of deal. Which is one of the reasons, and it coincided with a shit time of year. So I was like, nah, that's a good idea. And all that kind of jazz. So, and I needed a break as well. So there's 3 things. After the summer, I had 5 festivals in 4 weeks. It was like, that's pretty.
That's crazy. That's fucking insane, dude. I couldn't even imagine. Even before my issues, I couldn't imagine. That's crazy.
No, but I was struggling by the end. I'm like, I'm just like, I'm not drunk. I'm just burnt out. I was done.
I would say you're done with beer, right? Like you're just like fucking don't want to look at it, don't want to drink it, don't want anything to do with
beer. Exactly. And there's all these kind of stacking up. Like I need to have a break. Don't know how long it's going to last. I thought a couple of weeks, and then it got to mid-October. It's not a good time to start now, obviously.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll just keep going. And then I was like, I got through that first week, and I was like, I really fancy a beer. I was like, no, keep going. It's a bit like an itchy bit, you're starting to grow a beard, it starts to get itchy, and then you get past that first week or whatever it is, itchiness goes. And then it got to the point now, I didn't really fancy beer at all. Like, I didn't really want a beer, and then it got put off for a couple of days more, and I was like, let's just have a beer. And then it was kind of a weird thing to have a beer. It's like, to the point where I'm looking at ABV beers now, and it's like, oh shit, this is it's kind of weird. I'm looking for a low ABV stuff. Last Sunday, I'm like, I've never done that. I haven't done that for 6-7 years.
That's one thing I'm doing as well, is looking at, like, when I go to review, it's like I don't want back-to-back days of drinking, fucking 10% imperial stouts. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, but no. So, I mean, today I've had this is the heaviest kind of beer on beer I've actually had for 6 weeks now. So we'll see how that pans out.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully well. Hopefully, I don't feel any shittier.
But yeah, the trouble is, and then you start to get that taste. I fancy a few beers now. Do you know what I mean?
Delicious. Like, I know what you mean.
It just kind of hooks you in. It's like, you back.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I'm feeling good, and then it's like, let's have a beer and have a chat and talk shit, which I do that sober as well. So, do you know what I mean? It's kind of, but it's more of a sociable thing. If it wasn't for internet, this would be like, it's pretty boring. You're talking to someone, it helps.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
All that sort of stuff. But anyway, we're nearly an hour and a half, so I'm going to call it a day there. So
I was just going to say I need to get going in about 5 minutes. So
Yeah. So,
but it was great.
well,
Great chat.
well, I really appreciate you joining, and it's good to have a chat again. And
For sure.
you know,
We'll have to do it again, and maybe you talked about it. I think when we were not when we first got on, but like we can get our hands on a lot of similar beers. So maybe do a dual beer review, baby. Dust the road coming out. Review of something. I mean, we've done we've done a handful on my channel, and a couple on yours. But we can get the Belgians and the German beers and all that stuff. But like we can probably get you supermarket beers or whatever. Other half trash, right?
well, not so much trash, but they're becoming
Shelfies.
Shelfies, yeah.
Shelf turds indeed.
Shelf turds. They are on the online stores. They're not selling out. They're just there for a while. And it's like, even over here, it's like,
that's crazy.
It just shows you where I mean, another thing I think for that, it's not so much the brewery. It's probably the price
and availability of other stuff. So when other half was showing up, there was another hype stuff. Now there's a ton of shit you guys can get. So it's not, again, you have options.
But even what a lot of the UK breweries are producing now are on a par.
Yep.
But quite a bit cheaper
because they're local.
Same kind of. Well, yeah, from the UK.
They're domestic.
But they're cheaper of the same level. And sometimes a little bit better. Sometimes, not very often, but sometimes.
Well, it's one of those things. It's like you can get a day a can or whatever, and let's say what does a day a can run usually? 4 or 5 pounds, maybe something in that range.
It's 4.50, £5.
Okay.
Like that.
And you take that, and then let's say other half shows up, and it's 10 pounds or whatever. It's 11 pounds, right? Even if it's 8, it's not going to be as fresh as the day of stuff.
And it's 500 ml can as well. Don't forget.
Okay, so it's one of those things where you get more. It's 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds less, and it's going to be fresher. I think the choice is easy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we just one more comment before we just about to go. But cheers for chiming in, Jules. Hope you're keeping well.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that's it really from this little kind of catch up. I wasn't sure if we were going to go live. I was like, just shoot the shit, and but it's good to see you well, and
it's good to see that you're doing relatively well too, buddy.
Check out Joe's link down below if you want to subscribe. That's there, as well as my my PayPal account. So I've got to throw that out. I'm joking, but please don't.
Where's your Patreon, Craig? Where's the Patreon?
Hey, I don't do pay. I'm not. You'll see a little. I mean, that's the first time I've ever mentioned it as well. And I've always said I'll never mention it. I said that. It's down below. But I'm joking.
It is down below.
But it's there. It's definitely there.
It's there. But, it's there. But it's there. It's there.
Yeah. Forget I said anything. But
there.
It's at the bottom. But yeah. Anyway, cheers, Jules. Cheers, everyone in the chat. Rod and Chris and one or two others. Sorry. And cheers for joining me, Joe.
Cheers for having me, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, and for everyone else watching this, check his channel out down below. So
you're already on Craig's channel, so you don't have to check him out. He's already here.
See you later all. Cheers.